morning, it's Thursday and today is our last day of writing around the Windmill Farmer for this week. So we are going to look at how we can punctuate speech correctly. So in the story there's not much speech, but there is a little bit that the farmer might say, and when you're writing you need to have a range of different types of sentences, and putting a little bit of speech in is a really good way of bringing the story to life a little bit more. And we need to learn how to punctuate it correctly. Now, this is a picture from the story, and you can see here that the bubble isn't a speech bubble, but it's a thought bubble. And so when you're using thoughts and writing what the character is thinking in your writing, you need to use speech marks for that. Now, if you remember, speech marks are actually inverted commas. That's the posh word for them. So when you write your speech marks, they cannot be ginormous and sit on the line and look like letters. They need to be little, like tiny little curves. Have a look in some of your reading books and see how they're represented. And getting that right is quite important, because some of you were doing really big ones, which made me think that it was another letter. So just be really careful with those. So as you know already, the speech marks, or inverted commas, go around the sentences that the character speaks or thinks. So in this one, oh, that's strange. This one's not spinning. I wonder if it's broken. That is what the character was thinking. So if I show you here, you can see it. What would it look like in text? You can see the speech marks start it. The speech marks end where it says broken. You've got a question mark, which I'm sorry, the font makes it a really silly little question mark. I don't really like that. But the question mark ends that sentence, and then you start the last bit that tells us who had that thought. Thought the farmer curiously. And you can see I've added on the adverb to just bring that little sentence to life a little bit. So you've got this idea that the farmer's like, oh, strange, this one's not spinning. I wonder if it's broken, thought the farmer curiously. And that little adverb often helps you, when you're reading it aloud, decide how you're going to say it. So if he said it furiously, I'd probably say, oh, that's strange, this one's not spinning. I wonder if it's broken. So you can really change the feeling of the character by just choosing that adverb differently. And so I feel like our farmer is quite intrigued by things and delighted by things. So he would probably be more curious about it being broken than furious. So just think really carefully about how one simple word can completely change how something comes across in your writing. So when we write, and we write speech in our writing, we must have that punctuation at the end of the spoken word. So either a full stop, a capital letter, a question mark, a full stop, a question mark, or an exclamation mark. Or a comma. You can have a comma there. And if you look in your reading, when you're reading, you'll notice sometimes they put a full stop, or sometimes it's a comma. Now, if it's a full stop, really the next letter along, though, thought the farmer, should be a capital, but it again, that doesn't quite look right, does it? So it'd be quite interesting to see what you've noticed in your reading, see what different authors do and different publishers do. So that's the first example. Here's another one. You can see it's not a thought here, it's actually speech. Oh no, my windmills, they will be destroyed. The wind is too strong. Now let's have a look at what I've used to see how the farmer said it. So, oh no, my windmills, they will be destroyed. The wind is too strong, shouted the farmer frantically. So again, the use of verb shouted and the adverb frantically really change how I'd read that. Oh no, my windmills, they will be destroyed. The wind is too strong. Because if I said the farmer quietly, then it wouldn't actually match, would it? Because you're not going to go, oh no, my windmills, they're going to be destroyed, the wind is too strong. You wouldn't say it like that. So again, if you imagine you're telling that story and you really want to create the idea of the wind being strong and the farmer being really worried about it, by choosing those verbs and adverb, it really adds that feeling to the story. So again, choosing words carefully really change the tone of your writing. So that's the second one. And let's have a look here. What have we got? We've got a full stop. So the full stop at the wind is too strong. You can see I have closed that. And obviously I haven't mentioned it, but capital letter at the beginning of those sentences. And the last one here is, I'm so glad the frosty cold snow has gone. Spring at last. How might he be saying that? Would he be hopeful? Would he be joyful? Let's have a look. I am so glad the frosty cold snow has gone. Spring at last. gasped the farmer happily. So that helps us imagine him coming out of his house after that long cold winter and enjoying the fact that snow's gone and spring is on his way. So what you're going to do today is you're going to write some speech using speech marks correctly. So you could use what the images that I've done. You could do similar speech to me, or you could have some of your own speech from the story that you can think of. The pictures are there to help you think if you want to. And can you make sure you add that adverb and really think carefully about the verbs that you use? So when you are describing or saying who said it, or the farmer said it, how he said it is really going to affect the tone. So it'll be really good to see that you thinking through that again. So well done, everybody. Don't forget your capital S full stop. And I'm really looking, the whole point is the punctuation. So make sure you get those inverted commas, speech marks in the correct place, please. And I'm looking forward to seeing it through Dojo today. Well done, everybody. Thursday already. Won't be Friday before we know it.